to yourself. You got to talk yourself into some stuff. And then you got to talk yourself. You got to tell yourself, don't do it. Don't go that way. Danger, dangerous intersection. You have to be able to talk yourself out of some stuff, because a whole lot of stuff I would not have gotten into had I talked to myself.
We've got a chance to grow like never before, but I'm telling you, there's going to be many enemies that's going to try to prevent us. Whatever threatens you, I'm asking you to threaten it back. Take care of your responsibility. Somebody wants to destroy your chances for a good future by their negative talk, negative thinking, putting it all down. I'm telling you, walk away if you have to. Walk away. Whatever threatens you, threaten it back. Whatever threatens your opportunity, threaten it back. Now, some of our enemies are on the outside, but here's the most important thing to understand. Some of our enemies are on the inside. You got to do battle with your own indifference. And you've got to learn not only to nourish your values, you've got to learn to do battle with your enemies. I'm asking you to have some faith, have some courage, believe, drive your doubts into a small corner. Don't let them loose like a mad dog, drive you into a small corner. Don't doubt the future, don't doubt the possibilities. And here's the most important one of all, don't doubt yourself. If I've got miracle working power to change my life, so do you. If I can grow, you can grow. I'm asking you, don't sell yourself short.
Even if you are 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, doesn't matter. You're in the game now, and that's what counts. And all those quote-unquote wasted years, they weren't wasted, because you learned. Learned about what it's like to be weak, and the knowledge that you learned about those things is fuel to make sure that it never happens again. Because you know what is out there, and you know how bad it can get. I say you embrace what you learned from the weekdays. Let them make you even stronger. And you use your own personal transformation that you've made in life. Use that to help other people transform and get on the path as well.
If you know what it is to have the kind of pain that feels as if you cannot be comforted, if you know what it is to be at the end of your rope and feel like your life is over and you've got questions that cannot be answered and you're confused and you're uncertain, you need to learn this verse. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. I will never forget there's been many opportunities in my life that I have grappled with grief and pain so unbearable and so overwhelming that I thought that I would never smile again. I've seen days that were so dark for me that I thought there could not possibly be a silver lining in the clouds that hung over my head. I've seen days and weeks and months that drugged me so low that I gave up all hope of getting up again. But in the midst of all of that despair and that trouble and that trauma and that pain, there was in the basement of my soul this one word, when.
When should you start the day? As soon as you have it finished. Plan the day the best you can, leaving plenty of room for improvising and surprises and all the stuff that happens during the course of the day. But if you've planned a good, productive day, now you start that day, you can't believe how much more valuable your time will be. Next, don't start the month until you have it finished. The places to go and the people to see and the productivity and the sales and the customers and the development and all the rest of what you want to accomplish during the course of 30 days. And then here's the big one. This is really challenging. Don't start the year until you have it finished to the best of your ability. It can't be finished like minute by minute. But in terms of the sweep of what you want to accomplish, make sure that that's set and ready to go. And it might get all upset. It might get torn up and you do a new one. You make so much progress the first 90 days that now you've multiplied it all by 2, by 3. Because that happened to me. I thought, wow, this is going to be a great year. By the time I'd finished the 3rd month, I'm rolling. So many things are happening. I revised my whole year's plan. Don't let anything overly bug you. Because remember now, you don't have to do anything. Someone says, well, I got to get a handle on my time. The answer is no, you don't. If you want to let it all go, you can let it all go. Somebody says, you ought. Jot this down. Ignore all the you oughts or you should. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your time. Take charge of your resources, which we're going to talk about next. Take charge of your health. You're the one that's responsible for it. It's not a requirement of society that you not have a heart attack to take care of your family, but you must make it a requirement of yourself.
You will be okay. There's nothing has been wasted. Like I say, successful people don't make the right decisions, they make their decisions right. And you have an opportunity right now to make things right inside and out. When you say you're depressed, you've got to understand that depression is the opposite of expression. So what you're literally doing is stuffing down and depressing something that wants to come up and rise out. I wouldn't be surprised if you had like jaw, ear, or neck pain having to do with expressing yourself, speaking your truth. So, yeah, you're depressing yourself. Stop it. Speak up. Speak your truth. Now, right, once you get that off your chest, now it's time to turn the flashlight in and discover what your truth is.
We are living in a generation of the dumbing down of ideas because we have traded effectiveness for busyness. We are so busy and we think because we're busy, we're effective. But I want you to challenge your schedule for a minute and ask yourself, are you really being effective? Or is your life cluttered with all kinds of stuff that demands you and drains you and stops you from being your highest and best self? And are you substituting busyness and all the chaos that goes along with busyness from being effective?
It's easy to get faked out by being busy. Guy comes home at night all exhausted, falls in the chair and says, oh, I've been going. Here's the big question. Doing what? It's not the going. Some people are going, and they're doing figure eights. So don't mistake movement for achievement.
There's a lot of things you could take from me and I could make it. You could take my suit, I got another one. You could take my car, I could get another one. You could take my house, I could get another house. But when you take my time, you have taken something from me that is totally irreplaceable. We do everything except the most important thing is to value our time. It takes time to be creative. You were meant to be creative. You have creativity. If you had time, you would be creative.
Better have a valued goal, because otherwise you can't get any positive motivation working out. And so the more valuable the goal, in principle, the more the microprocesses associated with that goal start to take on a positive charge. Well, you get up in the morning and you're excited about the day. You're ready to go. What you do is you specify your long-term ideal. You do that in some sense as a unique individual. You want to specify goals that make you say, if that could happen as a consequence of my efforts, it would clearly be worthwhile. The question always is, why do something? Because doing nothing is easy. You just sit there and you don't do anything. That's real easy. And then the next question might be, well, where should you look for worthwhile things? And one would be, well, you could consult your own temperament. So you do a structural analysis of the subcomponents of human existence. And you need a family. You need friends. Like, you don't need to have all these things, but you better have most of them. Family, friends, career, educational goals, attention to your mental and physical health, etc. You know, that's what life is about. And if you don't have any of those things, well, then all you've got left is misery and suffering. So that's a bad deal for you.
Don't mistake courtesy for consent. If somebody's pleasant and they nod, you say, oh, they're going to buy. No, they're courteous. You can't mistake courtesy for consent. Now, here's a big one, concentration. I had to learn this. All those years ago, I'm in the shower trying to compose a letter. Found it turns out to be a strange letter. So here's what I learned to do. Save the work till you get to the office. Save the work till you get to the work. Don't try to get to the office on the way to work. On the way to work, enjoy the way. In the shower, enjoy the shower. Then go to work when you get to work. Concentration. Learn to say no. I'm telling you, in such a social society we have now, it's so easy to try to be a nice person, saying yes, yes, yes to everything. Find yourself overloaded. Now you got to call and make well, gosh, you know, all the time it takes to back out of something that you said yes to too quickly. Here's what might be better. I don't think so, but if that changes, I'll call you. Little things you can use not to overcommit yourself.
But once you set up that goal structure, let's say, and that's really who it is that you're trying to be. You aim at that. And then you use everything you learn as a means of building that person that you want to be. And I really mean want to be. I don't mean should be, even those things are going to overlap. That's fine, except you'll fail all the time then. You just won't know it until you've failed so badly that you're done. And that can easily happen by the time you're 40. I would recommend that you don't let that happen. Okay, so once you get your goal structure set up, you think, okay, if I could have this life, looks like that might be worth living. Anxiety-provoking and threatening, and there's going to be some suffering and loss involved and all of that. The goal is to have a vision for your life such that, all things considered, that justifies your effort. Then you turn down to the micro routines. It's like, okay, well, this is what I'm aiming for. How does that instantiate itself day to day, week to week, month to month? And that's where something like a schedule can be unbelievably useful. It's like, make a damn schedule and stick to it. It's not a bloody prison. Set the damn schedule up so that you have the day you want. That's the trick. It's like, okay, I've got tomorrow. If I was going to set it up so it was the best possible day I could have, what would it look like?
You got to go, man. You just have to go. Never wait on the right time, because the right time ain't ever coming. Because as you have aspirations, you got to understand that the devil understands your aspirations too. The devil's job is to rob you of your destiny. So if you're waiting on the right time, you'll never make the move. You have to go. See, devil, he only has one job. So he has a lot of people that work for him full time. They're called haters. And so what you got to do is, when you have these ideas of greatness, you got to go forward. Because it's not going to be a right time. Just go, jump, take a chance. I walked in the comedy club October 8th, 1985. I'd never been on stage in my life as a stand-up. Long story short, I won $50 amateur night. October 9th, the next morning, I went to my job and quit my job. $50. Ex-wife left me, became homeless, lost everything I ever owned. I kept telling them jokes. My mother, my brothers, sisters, all my friends, man, you ain't making no money. You can't tell no jokes. I just kept on. It didn't line up, but you can't wait till it line up. If you ever planning on soaring, you're going to have to jump. Now, I don't suggest you jumping like I did. That ain't for the faint of heart. But if you don't do it now, when you going to do it?
Put off for tomorrow that you don't mind dying in you today, because tomorrow's not promised. I'm living with a sense of urgency, getting things done, and I'm not going to leave anything on the table. When I die, let everybody know life don't owe me any change. Most of us take our talents, our abilities, our skills to the graveyard. Rob the cemetery of your ideas. We only have one life to live. Do you know how much time you have left? Do it now. Take action now.
You can just lay there awake thinking, oh, what's a few more minutes in bed? It won't matter much anyway. Wrong. It does matter. It will matter. When you're resting to renew your reserves, it's much different than resting to avoid your day. When you're excited for what you've planned to accomplish for the day, it's amazing. You'll wake up before the alarm clock even tries to startle you awake. Your successes give you extra energy. It's the snowball effect. With one success, you're excited to meet another. And pretty soon, the disciplines that were so difficult in the beginning are now part of your philosophy. And here's the choice: to become part of what we could be, enough to get by, or to become all that we can be. Earn all you can, make all the friends you can, read as many books as you can, develop as many skills as you can, make as much fortune as possible, give as much of it away as possible. Pick up the challenge, go for it. Take the best of the two easies. It's easy to get ahead. It's easy to do all you can. It's easy to succeed. The more you do, the more you get.
Just be patient. Enjoy your teens, enjoy your 20s. There's no reason to get so worried about being successful now. That is the most ridiculous advice. There's no reason simply because of your age that you should not be after it, that you can't be hustling. If you've got the desire to win, if you want to be somebody, if you want to make your dreams come true, your age is irrelevant. It's a form of ageism to tell a young person, just be patient. And frankly, the sooner you get going, the sooner you make progress, the sooner you're going to get there and enjoy your life. The list of billionaires in the country gets younger every single year, as do the millionaires. You want to know why? Technology, your phone, your iPad allows people at any age to win. And so please, parents, don't hold your kids back if they want to grow. Now, what should I be working on? I think you need to start to read books on persuasion and influence. So start to study the great communicators. That's number one. Begin the process of setting goals early, right? Third, begin to work on personal development. Read some books. There are great books out there by many people on personal development, on personal growth, on persuasion, on leadership. Begin to feed yourself these great thoughts early in your life, and it'll change things.
I want you to think about your goals and dreams. Think about the things that you've said that you want to do with your life. This conversation that I'm going to have with you now will help you to begin to move with a sense of urgency, because a lot of people don't know we're going to leave here. Here's what I know about this thing called life. It is so unpredictable. The question becomes, what are you going to do now? Live with a sense of urgency. People that are living with a sense of urgency, they spend their time doing things that's them. You came here to do something, and that's making every moment count, and that you take your performance to the next level. You came here to do something. Live with a sense of urgency. Be willing to change your approach. I can't make the choices for you. All I can share with you to minimize the pain and living a life that's not you, so that your future you will say, I'm glad you made that choice. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it, because few there be that are willing to be disciplined. There's nothing worse than arrogance and ignorance, people who think they know and they don't know. What is it that you're determined to do? Yeah, there are a lot of people walking around with a lot of potential in them that's dead. Have you had some setbacks and failures and you have convinced yourself it can't be done? You can live a life that will outlive you. Oh, you have greatness in you. Live your life in such a way that life don't owe you any change.
Are you known for that person that stand out with what you do, always looking for ways to better your best? Japanese believe it ain't perfect, keep working on it. Are you willing to realize that you have not done your best stuff yet, that you can better your best? The other thing is, let us say together, it's worth it. You got to find 5 reasons that will make it worth it for you. Mine was, I want to take care of my mother. Mine was, I want to do something with my life. Mine is, I refuse to die an unlived life.